the organizers, future Kerala officials, learned delegates. It's a disadvantage to speak at this time of the afternoon. The disadvantage is that you've all had a heavy lunch and probably you're used to a short nap at this time and to be standing here talking to you. But the advantage, there's also an advantage to speak at this time. You are all so sleepy and you might be dozing, so you wouldn't really know that what I was speaking is irrelevant, if ever it is. Because I'm looking at this from a totally different perspective. I understand that the organizers want to talk about Vision Kerala Education 2021. I'm drawn from the legal profession, but I will not be talking about that today. But at the outset, I would like to place on record my appreciation for the initiative taken by Future Kerala in looking at education from a futuristic perspective. We all know what education is. Kerala is known for its literacy rate. We all know about primary education, then and higher education. But I want to pose a question. Why education? Why do we need to be educated? You or me? What is the purpose of education? All of us would say that it is to impart knowledge. But I'm totally going to speak in a very general talk today to share with you my pain that there is no use of education if we don't maintain a cultural level, if we don't imbibe or try to make our students imbibe social, religious, moral and ethical values. We all know India is a country of diverse castes, cultures, religion, languages. Today, actually, do we have tolerance to love, respect, and accept each other? And what is the use of education if after all the education we still rarely or hardly respect each other? We burn buses and trains because, it's mob mentality, okay. We throw stones at each other. I've heard of buildings and institutions being burnt, people locking vice chancellors in their rooms, ministers being beaten up. Everyone has a right to hold a different view. You're free to belong to any particular religion. You're free to belong to any particular ethnic community, but we need to have tolerance. So by 2021, education should not just be what is being taught in the four walls of a classroom. Now education has transcended beyond these traditional boundaries. It involves an interdisciplinary approach where students can broaden their vistas of knowledge. I was talking to the previous speaker, the Vice Chancellor from the medical background. In fact, we both at the same time said that we need to have a discussion and to enrich students, doctors and lawyers to sit together and talk about medical jurisprudence. Because you cannot, you take any I come from the criminal law, criminology background, probably that's why I'm taking that as an example. Medical jurisprudence. You cannot be a good lawyer or a good doctor if you are not familiar with the interface and the link between medicine and law. You cannot prove a criminal, and we don't call people a criminal. In criminal law, we only call them an accused until proved beyond all reasonable doubt. Because you can't convict an innocent man. So you cannot handle or treat or punish a criminal if you don't have the evidence. And for evidence, we bank on the medical expert, on expert evidence, on forensic science. You might have heard about polygraphy and brain mapping and lie detector tests. All that is to get at the truth. Because until you get the truth, you can't convict the person. But you are relying on medical evidence, on fingerprint experts, on handwriting experts, on ballistics. Suppose you want to know whether the pistol was used to commit suicide yourself or whether you got the shot right at the back. You can't shoot like that, some experts would tell me. But it has been shot from a distance. Which pellet was used, which bullet was used. What I'm trying to say is, we should go for an interdisciplinary approach in our system of education. I only took the medico-legal combination, but I'm sure other professionals will see that no profession today can be studied independently without this interdisciplinary approach. Another thing is, students today, if we want to see Kerala to 2021 education, with students having a very high sense of values, we need to sensitize them to social issues, to inequalities perpetrated to the vulnerable sections of society. Opportunities given to students in any kind of education should be diverse and immense. It should cater to the welfare of humanity, directly or indirectly, cutting across socio-economic and even political considerations. And education should be an effective tool actually for social and gender empowerment in multifarious ways, such as disseminating information and creation of awareness. What kind of awareness? Socio-economic issues, socio-political issues, socio-cultural issues, or socio-legal issues. Why was the practice of sati banned? At one point of time, the wife had to jump into the funeral pyre of her husband, whether she likes it or not. But why was a law made, the Sati Abolition Act? The practice of sati was much accepted by one category of people. They believed that it just should happen. But law had to step in to stop that social practice. Because you would see sometimes children left as orphans. And moreover, that just was not the form of death. But believe me, even now that practice continues. I'm only trying to tell you that our education system should try to sensitize children about sensitive issues, which could be socio-economic issues also. The endeavor of our educational institutions, I think, is to provide, as the previous speaker said, it should be excellence in education. And we should not just go for book knowledge and text knowledge. We have to concentrate on the overall development of today's vibrant and dynamic students. We should not address students as if only the person on this side knows anything. Just like if we have an interaction, I'm going to learn from you today. I'm going to learn what you have to share with us, with the other speakers. So education is always a learning process, even for the teacher. Because if a teacher in any form of education, whether it's in primary level or higher education, if a teacher stands before the class thinking that he or she is the only person who knows anything, then he or she will not even take the doubts of students. The first speaker spoke about motivation. You have to motivate the student to ask questions. From your teaching, they should ask questions. And they should come out with, they should learn, in fact, from the interaction of students and be humble enough for that. And we need to have access to education. We speak about, I don't know, we speak about 100% literacy in Kerala. I'm confining to education in Kerala as that's a topic. But when we speak of education in Kerala, Justice Janaki Amma, who was a judge of the High Court, once said, no country can claim to be civilized until or unless a woman could walk out at midnight without and bedecked of ornaments. Why can't she wear it if she wants to? If a woman could walk out at midnight bedecked of ornaments without being robbed or molested. So what Justice Janaki Amma was trying to convey is that no country can actually claim to be civilized if what's happening around is where a woman can't walk out safe. The previous speaker spoke about sexual violence going on, which is prevailing, the prevalence of sexual abuse in our country, where we say that literacy is at its best. Now, what we read in the newspapers, you would see that usually if you look into the newspapers, you would only read more about someone being raped. But as a criminal law teacher, let me tell you, there's so much. For my MPhil or PhD, I forget, I read innumerable cases which are not necessarily rape cases. There's pornography, there's eve teasing. I'm talking what's prevalent in our society. There's pornography, there's eve teasing, there's dowry death, there's outraging the modesty of women. There is what you call buying and selling minors for prostitution. Then of course rape and various forms of rape. Custodial rape, a minor being raped, a pregnant woman being raped, gang rape. And then of course there's something called 498A, section 498A of the IPC, selling or buying a husband or wife, husband or relatives of the husband, cruelty to the wife by a husband or relatives of the husband. And as they used to say, and Brutus is an honorable man. Similarly, we really actually, especially we Keralites, I think we have some pride in us that comparatively we are a cultured lot, we are very civilized, we are all highly, mostly all educated. Almost every female member in every family is educated. But with all the education, I'm telling you, my research study was on cases, some of it was of cases in Kerala. I'm only connecting the topic to cultural level. When we speak of education, we are always talking of knowledge and book knowledge, and of course we have to be research oriented. in our educational system. We are all very complacent. The Wright brothers have already found out that we all get onto planes. The Wright brothers found it out for us, so we are complacent. How much of solid research comes out from Kerala? I think ISRO has some credit, can take some credit in Kerala, but I don't know how much of research where the education in Kerala has really benefited the world at large. How much of our research work are we being discussed at international forums? What is our contribution, leave alone at the global level, what is our contribution to the nation? From Kerala, what is the contribution? Now, I'm not undermining us also, because a lot of medical, say the good doctors in the States, they say Kerala, it's the good nurses who are really sensitive to their profession come from Kerala. We have very good engineering departments and outcome from engineering faculties. But at the end of the day, what is our contribution to the nation? What is our contribution at the global level? We give education at all levels. How much of it is skill-based? We all who are sitting here, I think all are somewhere or the other, you're working. But for the children who come out from schools and colleges, how much of skill-based education is there? There is, of course, not that it's zero, but even highly educated people are today looking out for jobs. When his phone rang, I thought the organizers are telling me that's enough. But I think it's time, I'm almost stopping. They are looking out for jobs. In a movie, it's depicted very well by Mohanlal. Nalla paduttam undu, elladuthu interview nu po, avada pom, he doesn't get it anywhere. Then he comes back home, every day morning he will set out, he'll borrow his friend's shirt, he'll go for interviews, he comes back. One day he sits on the steps of his house, he'll just sit like that and say, oh, oru jolly kittirunengil, 2 ദിവസം leave eduthu veetilirikkamayirunnu. And that is a fact. That is what's happening. The people are running around looking for jobs, not getting jobs. But we are giving all kinds of education in Kerala. So what is it that we are lacking? Are we not giving sufficient skill-based education? And are we not developed industrially? Industries are not developed enough to take our own people to ensure they get some work. Now, one comment before I close about education is, you would all have noticed that reading habits have stopped. Earlier people were found for hours. I've kept my university library open till 11. Of course, they have projects, so my students are there. But I'm saying in general, if you look around, you will see reading habits of people, old or young, have stopped. Earlier they spent a lot of time reading. Even it can be you will get some story, some short story, or Pandate, Bobbin and Molly, that's okay. It will keep your mind relaxed. But now, reading, whether it is classic books or whatever, it has stopped. You find everyone before a laptop, okay. Of course, you need to access, you need to go to the laptop, but access information. But you can see a lot of misuse of it in our children. Mobile phones, 24 hours people are sending messages, even I keep getting, I get messages, sometimes I reply to. We are all into it, that's what I'm trying. I'm not blaming anybody in particular, but somewhere we need to bring back the solid textbook reading kind of, it could be e-books, kind of educational system. Now, before I close, I only want to say one thing. Our children Kerala, they have a lot of potential. Does our education system provide them with the opportunities to really explore the full potential in them? We are training them, we are teaching them textbooks, Newton's law, this, that, sodium chloride is NaCl, potassium is K, okay. But at the end of the day, are we really allowing them to have an overall personality development? Because what Kerala should aim at is that our children, the children educated in Kerala, should make a mark at the national level and at the global level, and they should be cultured to such a high level that they know how to conduct themselves with dignity. Then we can be proud of Kerala, India can be proud of Keralites, and the nation and the world should be proud of Kerala. We should make our children themselves be proud of their state, sending them out into the world to know how to live in this world with tolerance, with love and respect for each other. Thank you. Sorry, I don't know how much time I took. Thank you very much. I just shared a few thoughts with you.